having a little bit of trouble like maintaining our saturations above 90. We've been trading the mask in and out just to get a good feel, but I think we're having to slowly go up a little bit on our support. Were you able to come by the PICU today during the day, or were you here during the day?
Yes, I was. I was there in the morning. They had the full mask, and then they right before I left, probably like around 3 something or 4, they changed it to the other mask that just covers her nose and her mouth. But
Got it, yeah.
yeah, her oxygen level was like at 92, 94, around there.
Yeah. So our stats right now are sitting about like maybe 90s, 91. Sometimes we'll dip to like 88, but we're kind of sitting around like I would say 90s. I think the nurse during the day today had been adjusting a little bit of the support from the ventilator. So right now we're currently at 75% FiO2, which is a little bit higher than we were during the day. We're talking with the doctors, and I think she's tolerating it okay at this point. I think it's just kind of hard to say if we're going to have to go up more to like support her more. Yeah, outside of that, I think we've just been giving meds and then like turning and doing typical care stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay, so right now what is her respiratory rate, the blue number?
So we started off our shift. We're kind of breathing in like the 40s, 50s per minute.
Oh, okay.
I think it is a little bit faster now. It's honestly it's sometimes faster, sometimes slower. So I would say anywhere from like 40s to 60s.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is her rate.
Yeah, she just goes up and down whenever and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little tenuous.
Okay. And how does she like, she still look tired? Because in the day when I got there, she just looked tired. Like, I can tell right away that she was tired. Did she sleep? When I left, she was going to sleep. I don't know if she slept.
Oh, so we came in to the shift, and I think she was feeling a little discomfort because she hadn't pooped in a little bit. We did give her some PRNs, and I think she finally pooped, so I think she's comfortable from that standpoint. But when we came into the shift, she was still watching her iPad, still playing a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we gave her melatonin maybe closer to 9 o'clock, so I would say maybe she's sleeping for about an hour now.
Oh, she's been sleeping now for like an hour? Oh, okay, good. Hopefully she has a good night then.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I think it would be good to like help her body kind of get the pressures that she needs while she rests. So
yeah,
it's just kind of hard to say like which direction we'll go.
Okay. Okay. Well then, just call me anytime over the night for anything. If anything at all, you can just call me anytime. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll definitely do that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye bye.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too. Bye. So those are my daily conversations. Like I said, Emma right now is in the ICU. She's been there 3 weeks, going for 4 weeks. So I haven't stayed with her. I tried staying with her last weekend, but it was just uncomfortable, and I know I have to make it work because I'm her mom, but the next day I could not function for her. I was sleepy, and I had the worst headache because I didn't sleep at all. It was 3 a.m. I'm awake. 4 a.m. I didn't sleep. I did not sleep at all. So I ended up going home later that evening because like the next day, but because I just didn't sleep, so I couldn't function for Emma. But her dad's been staying in the ICU just because also Melody's not allowed in the ICU. She was allowed downstairs but not in the ICU, and I really get tired of her going to her dad's house all the time, to be honest, because she's a baby and she wants to be with her mom, and I want to be with her. And I get even more depressed when Melody's not around because she just always makes me laugh. But anyway, I call every morning, like on weekends, that I don't go see Emma because I'm with Melody. Some weekends I know her dad will gladly watch her, but he gets more money when he works weekends. So I I try to stay with her, and not only to like just for that, but because I love being with Melody. So weekends I stay with her and Luis, and during the week, again, in the mornings I drop off the kids either school or daycare, and then I go to the hospital every morning, and then I come out when it's time to pick up the kids, and then I come home. But I spend like all morning and kind of like early afternoon with Emma, and those are my days every day. Right now that she's been in the ICU, when she's in HEMOC, it's different. I go in the mornings, I then come back, pick up my kids, come home a little bit, and then go spend the night again with her and Melody at the hospital. But right now that's not possible because she's in the ICU. They don't let Melody up, and I need to get some sleep in order to function for Emma, in order for me to grasp everything the doctors tell me the next day. So her dad is staying there with her at the ICU. And at the ICU they even tell you, like, because Emma's been so like some doctors say severe, the nurse only gets one patient, and they only get Emma, so they don't have another patient to worry about. They just have Emma. So for example, when Emma got intubated, they told us, you guys should really just leave because Emma can't even talk. And if she sees you guys, she wants to talk, and she'll get all like, her heart rate and her oxygen. And so they said, you guys should just leave, like come during the day or something, but it's not even worth spending the night because she's, she was always so, like, she was on drugs, like, to put her to sleep so she didn't feel the tube, so she probably wouldn't even remember that we were there, so they told us not to be there, and that was probably like for a whole week. So we I would just go in the daytime and then leave at night, always go check on her. And like now, like again, like I said, like in the ICU the nurse only has Emma, so the nurse can sit in the room and stay with Emma all night or all day. So that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. And like downstairs in the HEMOC, like the nurse usually has another patient or even two more sometimes, so it gets hard for them. Like they can't stay with Emma, they have other kids to take care of. But yeah, so you guys heard what the nurse said, and those are just things that I hear, that I've been hearing for a while. And like I said, like some days, oh, she's doing good, her oxygen was really good, and her respiratory rate was really good. And then other days, like right now, like it's weird, like it just dips and then it goes up, and like, so it's just very nerve-wracking. Every day I always look like I'm okay, and of course I try not to ever cry in front of my kids, like Luis and Melody. So, but really, you just never know what can happen. All I know is that I want Emma to come home safe, sound, and we all want to play. But yeah, that was just a little information. And again, this is Emma's journey, our journey, my story to tell. So if you guys have any questions, please message me, comment, anything. Like I'll answer. And I also want to say thank you. Thank you for everybody who's watching, everybody who's subscribing, everybody who's following on Instagram, and donating on the GoFundMe. I really, really, really appreciate it. Again, this is more like, I just want to brag about Emma. I just want to share with you guys our story, her videos. I just love her. I think she's one of a kind. She really is one of a kind. Like, There's no other 3-year-old like Emma. There really isn't. So that's all this is about. I really appreciate you guys keep spreading the word so people can just subscribe, and follow on Instagram. Mostly YouTube. I just have so much fun posting videos. I really do. It's so much fun. And again, the GoFundMe, I appreciate it. That money is staying there until Emma gets out of hospital. I'm not touching it. It's just going to stay there. My goal is to reach the goal that says there, if not more, so I can actually afford an apartment for her when she gets out, because rent is really expensive. But honestly, that's just like a short-term goal, because if I were to even go like up and beyond and like the donating, like I'd probably buy a house if I went like that high. But I don't know. That's not possible. Maybe possible. I don't know. But all I know is that money is staying there until Emma gets out, and we are definitely going to use it for something good, just for Emma and ourselves. Like, you know, I'm still kind of managing, but if I'm ever tight in bills or something, you know, I'm still managing though. It's hard because I don't work. And when I tried applying for IHSS a while back, they were like, oh no, Emma doesn't qualify because of her age. And I just thought that was the dumbest thing ever. So I didn't qualify for IHSS, but I am going to try again. I don't know, maybe I don't know. I have to find something. But, you know, when I applied, they just said I didn't qualify. So, but I have to find a solution because I'm out of unemployment. So, and I don't want to ask for an extension. I miss working, but I know I cannot work because of Emma. I know if I worked, I cannot call out and run to Emma, and I wouldn't even be able to mentally function at work knowing that my daughter is at the hospital. Like right now, it's 11 p.m. and I'm making videos, and I am exhausted. I am genuinely tired. The only time I go to sleep early is when Melody and Luis are still awake and I need them to go to sleep, so I put them to sleep, but I end up falling asleep first. So that's when I go to sleep early. But since they both fell asleep today on their own, by themselves, super early, I am awake. I am thinking about Emma. I do not want to sleep. And in some of my videos, you guys may see me like super off, but it's because like I'm talking to you guys, but then I'm also just thinking in the back. So anyway, I made this cool QR code thing for Emma. It's awesome because Emma used to go to this daycare. Like, it's so awesome. And Emma used to go to this daycare where Luis and Melody go to now, and all the teachers always ask about Emma, and you know, even the doctors at the hospital love Emma so much, and they're like, oh, we want to follow on YouTube, you know. So I made these cards, and the QR code will just take you to the links, the YouTube link, Instagram link, and the GoFundMe link. So I'm so excited to give these out because, like I said, I really just want people to subscribe on my YouTube. I want to spread the word. It's so amazing. So just real quick, I am going to keep posting videos of Emma. In the most recent videos, you guys can see she has a swollen lip. That's because she got a blister inside her lip that just wasn't going away. It just got bigger and bigger. It made her lip red, hard, and it was just painful for her. And that happened over time because in one of the videos, or I think the pictures on Instagram, I post so much, I don't really, but in the pictures on Instagram, she's wearing a Band-Aid, and ever since that date, her mouth was already hurting. Her lip was hurting, but we didn't see anything, so that blister just started growing and growing and growing. and it wasn't even a blister. It's just like a big, like, it's weird. I think I have more pictures of it. I'm gonna post it on Instagram. So when that happened, obviously it came with a fever. We had to stay at the hospital. And then the fever went away, but she still had a thing, but they let us go home. And I believe that's when I was giving her the antibiotic through her port. So she came home with her port access, which means like the needle inside her port, and I can just, and like the line. So I would put medicine through there, antibiotics, and it was fun. Made me feel like a nurse for a minute, and made me feel like I was really helping. So I was giving those antibiotics, and then eventually comes the worst part. I do not have a video of that, of course not, because I didn't think of recording it at the time. But Emma, that thing, it just didn't go away. And one day when we were home, we were getting ready to go pick up Luis at school and then go have lunch or dinner, whatever. And I was in the shower. Emma fell asleep on the sofa. And when I was in the shower, I heard Emma scream like, ow. And, you know, ever since Emma has been diagnosed, I've been on like, Emma, be careful. Luis, be careful. Don't touch Emma. Don't play with Emma. Emma can't do that. Emma, get up. Like, like, Emma, just sit down. Don't move. Like, because if she were to fall and hit her head, she can bleed out inside her head. If she falls, she gets a bruise, and the bruise gets so ugly. And, it was just, I didn't want to risk nothing. So I've always been like on top of it. So when I heard her say that, I just got out of the shower, put on my robe. And when I came to the living room, Emma was bleeding from her mouth. But not a little bit, a lot, extreme. Like she was throwing up blood and coughing blood. Like, I saw her and I just screamed, like, Emma. And I just grabbed my phone that was on the table and I went to the floor with her because she, like, it was so fast. I grabbed my phone and I don't even remember how I did it. I don't even remember, like, you just think to yourself, like, how do you react so quickly? Like, how does a mom just react? Like, how did you do that? Like, I saw her, I grabbed my phone. I usually never know where my phone is at. I just set it down at home anywhere. I don't know where it's at, ever. So, like, if I have all my kids with me, like, I just, whatever, And that day, Melody's dad was here, so I just screamed, and he, like, I don't know, I always scream, so he didn't even come from the room. but I grabbed my phone real fast, and I got with Emma on the floor, and she was like bleeding, and that's when I screamed for Melody's dad, and I was like, call 911. And he was looking for his phone. I was like, don't, like, here's mine, like, here's my phone, like. And it was just scary. The scariest thing in my whole entire life, like, scarier than giving birth. She drenched my whole bathroom robe, which was thick. She drenched it. There was puddles of blood on the living room floor. She drenched her whole dress, and it was just nonstop blood. And I literally thought my daughter was going to die, and she was going to bleed out on me. It was super scary. That day when we took her to the hospital, I got in the ambulance so fast. Like, okay, maybe not so fast, but when the ambulance got here, like 7 minutes later or 9, no, I think it was like 7 something. I have the whole, how long I was on the phone and everything. The whole time I was on the phone with 911, well, Melody said, like, Emma was still bleeding, and I was just screaming like crazy. But Emma was such a good girl, let me tell you. Emma was, like, just throwing up blood, and she was just like, she wasn't screaming, she wasn't crying, she was just like, mommy, like, and I was like, screaming, panicking, screaming, like, tell them to hurry. Like, nobody has time for questions. They ask so many questions. Thankfully, Melody's dad knew the answer to most because I share everything with him. But it was bad. So then finally the ambulance came and I just carried Emma to the door. I didn't even care. Like, they put her in the ambulance. I changed real fast and I left. And I was calling my mom like crazy because my son was about to get out of school in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. By the time everything had happened, I had to pick him up. And, so we get to the hospital. She stopped bleeding. We go up to the ICU. I slept there. We slept there. The next day, she was gonna have a procedure to check why she was bleeding, the endoscopy or something like that, like a camera in her stomach. And right before she was gonna get that done, the child life specialist comes in. Those are the ladies that come play with your children. They are the best, and bring them toys and everything. They're like so awesome, and they're all so nice. The girls, they're all so nice. And I should say girls because most of them, I don't even think they have kids. But anyway, so she like comes in and she gets close to Emma. Emma's sleeping with her back like towards me, and she's like, Emma, are you ready for your procedure? And the lady just sees like blood like just coming so fast out like from her mouth. She's like, is that blood? And that was one of like my worst experiences in the ICU. That's why personally I don't like the ICU, because my daughter was bleeding and the child life specialist right away grabbed like the blanket and put it there because she saw that it was just a lot of blood. And the nurse threw me some wipes because she thought wipes was gonna help clean the blood. But I was like, no, she's not gonna stop bleeding. Like, and she just stood there. And child life was like, go get the doctor, go get some more towels and stuff, like, because Emma was bad. And yeah, that, like, it was just that. And then, we're taking Emma to the ICU and, down to the OR, after they managed to, one of the doctors put pressure on her lip and managed to stop the bleeding. At that day, she was bleeding from the blister she had in her lip. So they had done a biopsy previously when she was in the hospital. They had done a biopsy probably like a week or no, like 2 weeks prior to her bleeding out from her mouth. And so they did the biopsy. And so they thought that maybe the stitch is open and that's why she was bleeding from her lip. So anyway, they managed to stop the bleeding and we went down to the OR. But when we were going down, one of the doctors was like, we need something to keep giving her oxygen. And the nurse said, no, I'm not giving you guys that because then it stays down there. So then the other doctor was like, okay, I guess we're going to do the manual, like the pump. And I just thought that was very unprofessional. So, because I was like, if my daughter just needs some oxygen and, this lady didn't want them to take it because, just these are experiences that I have in the hospital that I want to share with you guys. But, I don't have to get too into like detail because I don't want to talk bad about the nurse either, She said it was pretty hard for her. She needed a drink after that. So, it was hard for me. And, so, then, after the OR, they told me that they did see some bleeding in her stomach. And they just were going to give her some medications for a temporary solution. But that after her transplant, like, she really needed the transplant. That, like, she really needs the transplant in order for her to not bleed. Okay, fine. So, they gave her medication for a temporary solution. Um, and yeah. So that's that. That's a very important story because that has defined my whole life. Before that happened, like I thought I could do this. Before Emma bled out in my arms, I thought I could do this. But then that day happened, and I just every day I feel like it's my last day with Emma, and it sucks. It just sucks. And every time Emma would be admitted to the hospital because of a fever or because of a biopsy or anything, I'd be like, when are we going home? I want to go home. We want to go home. When are we going home? But when that happened, I was like, I don't want to go home. I don't want to take Emma home. I'm not going home. You guys need to fix the solution. I am not risking my daughter ever again bleeding out at my house. I am not taking her home. And the doctor said, okay, we don't want her to go home either. But damn, they took that very seriously because ever since then, we've been in the hospital, and that was back in February. February 15 or 16 something. So it's we've been there a long time. And to be continued. Again, thank you guys.